And need to claim that prize. Jump back in. Thank you, Anthorp. Reader Rabbit. Could be Reid Duke, but anybody can make the name Reader Rabbit. We'll keep this, though. Is Reid streaming right now? That would be one way to find out. Cool. Hi, Reid. And even cooler that we get to pass to Reid with a thought collapse ready. Oh my god, it's going to be CtM mirror, isn't it? I guess we let that happen. Reid Duke in the CtM mirror. I don't like my chances, but any given Sunday, folks, any given Sunday. Or Tuesday, whatever. Let's go ahead and deploy here. Make Reid. I can say him if it's legit Reid. Make him counter this or start taking some pressure. Yeah, I don't care about that. Not enough to counter it anyway. I don't even care enough to counter that. We still have a threat, and Reid doesn't. That's too powerful. He's got it protected, unfortunately, with a thought collapse of his own, it looks like. But at least that frees us up to drop something like a battlement if we want, or the Knight Arbiter. So we're going to counter it and make him counter back, and then see about our next turn. Nope, maybe he doesn't have it. Yeah, this is going to be a heck of a matchup. Oh my god. Can I concede now and just, like, actually try to set up a counter? No, we'll try and get him. But we may wrap up the stream after this match. I may wrap up my career after this match. Well, everybody, it's been a good run. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to let Mr. Duke have this one. Let's try this, though. Let's see, we have 7 mana. We can try and get the ammunition. We can just battlement and exile the Arbiter if that resolves. Reid did not show a counterspell to our counterspell, so I think he would have had to draw one to be able to counter this. I'm actually expecting more like a pry based on what we saw. I'm expecting him to draw 4, discard 2 here. So let's start with an attack, though. Maybe it's possible he'll do something to the flyer that affects our decisions. Yeah, he could sack the locket, but the point is, I think we're safe to cast the battlement, unless he found something in the last couple turns. And there's, of course, risk because he might have more enchantment-based removal, but that creature was effectively nullified anyway, so that's sweet. And then we have Admonition. In fact, that's actually fine for us. Like, normally I'd be uncomfortable with something like that, but in this case, it's super sweet, actually. And I'm going to just Battlement as a 4/5 here with shields down across the way. And then have some nasty refilling at the ready. Well, I was right about Prying Eyes. I just didn't know there was going to be a mass manipulation ahead of it. More tethering. Effectively. Go... I guess we could... Yeah, we go Acuity and then into Perception. I like that Thought Collapse. Don't need that. Probably don't need the Orator, although creatures of any kind look like they will do something on this board. So maybe I will keep them. Not exactly what we're craving, but I think we can accept whatever that plus a third card. Yeah, I go to convention sometimes. I haven't really in any capacity as a streamer or post-WotC entertainer of any kind, but I'm looking at those types of things coming up. There's some... I was listening to the Dice Tower today. That's a podcast I don't listen to all the time, but when I want to get some opinions on games or whatever, I'll touch in sometimes, and Vassal was mentioning a bunch of board gaming type cons coming up that seems like they would be fun. Gen Con I should go to. Hey, thank you for that sub. Hey, Nick. Good to see you, man. I have never been to Gen Con, which may surprise many of you. It surprises myself in many respects, but there you go. I'd love to go. I should do that sometime. I'm just gonna play that land. Let's put the Acuity out and see what it produces. Chili Bee, you say? We have 7 mana left. I don't want to drop below Thought Collapse mana, so we're not going to play... Ooh, well... He's kind of making us do it, huh? Yeah, I guess we gotta. Alright, we cleaned his Acuity and one Clear the Mind. Is the other one yarded? Alright, both his Clear the Mind... Well, assuming Reid is only playing 2, we got both Clear the Minds in the yard. Grave would let that resolve. Definitely an argument for letting it resolve. Maybe it's done its work here, but it does represent more cards in a matchup that's grindy and ultimately about cards. So I don't hate it. Here we might have to take our own Clear the Mind. What do we got in the yard? We do have another Clear the Mind somewhere in the deck, but we can assume that might get milled as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Clear the Mind here. to be sure we get that in our hand. A little sloppy to orator before combat. I could wait till the end, but there was really in many ways an F6 type or an auto pass type play. I'm going to try the insight first. Again, we're looking for this to win this card attrition battle. That's why we protected the acuity. And 4, 5, 6, 7, so we can go acuity with messenger. Might try and counter this on the way down. Of course, we can't stop that, but we have additional action to add to the table, so it's all good. Hey, a thought collapse is nice. We'll keep that up instead. Minor mistake. I again did the thing. A leak I have is not wanting to think about land in the context of planning my turn, so I'll just play one out. And then we drew a gate, and we should have played the gate, right? So we should have 3 mana and a gate. Tapped gate out. Unlikely to matter, but if we end up needing all of our mana next turn and this ETB tapped gate leaves us 1 mana away from something super sweet, the Magic is a game of inches and it could cost me. Thank you, Double D's. See ya. Don't worry, we'll be here when you get back, I'm sure. Still playing Reid in game 1. I'm going to let that happen because we have better threats. Here's one of them.
All right, everyone, chill.
We have the mana to play the messenger, but not while keeping the thought collapse up, so I'm not going to do that, although we could play the clear the mind here. Yeah, let's do a clear the mind. I think situations like this are a reason for WotC to consider match timers on top of the system they have already, maybe. I don't know, I haven't thought too much about it, but yeah, we got to protect these clear the minds. It's a big, this is one of the major counterspell battles you'll have in this format, in this matchup. It's over the collapsing and the clearing. And we got acuity back, that was lucky. All right, we got game 1 from Mr. Duke. Good game, Reid. And extra clears, extra thought collapse. Savant is fine. Duelist, less impressive here. Looks like he's fairly no threat, except taking ours. I want these admonitions against that potentiality. Let's not fail to submit a sideboarded deck, though. That's my main thing here. Detention, we'll keep it. because it gets it might even get a lock, whatever, a lock at one of their own acuities would be good. Cut to. Shimmer, I like. Orator, maybe less important here. I'm going to cut these low drops that aren't really what it's about. Got 31 seconds. 31 seconds. Do I need all of these clears? Maybe I can cut one of them. 3 clears. 4 collapses. I think I'm going to try that. High alert. I still don't think that's right here. Maybe we're trying to close it out and beat Reid before he can get his feet under him. We'll keep this. We have Shimmer on 2. That's a good point, Rob, about what it does for Reid's removal. I'll keep that in mind. That's a good point. If we go to 3, we'll consider it. I did not think of it in those terms. We're looking for white mana here. And not quite the form, but we'll take it. Not the ideal form, but we will take this because it has taps for white, so we want it. Play this to have Thought Collapse ready for Reid's next turn, or play the Guildgate to have 4 mana. I'm not sure what we need 4 mana for, but I also doubt we're going to Thought Collapse anything he's going to be up to there. I'm going to just play the Gate and leave shields down on Thought Collapse here. Looks like Reid was in a similar predicament. East didn't like that play, huh? I don't know what was punty about that exactly, but there you go. What did I do? Now I'm curious, because I love... This is one of the benefits of streaming, is that everybody points out my mistakes and I see stuff that I missed. Too risky to not have Thought Collapse up on their turn 3? Nah, I think that was correct. Yeah, at least I thought it. I knew what I was doing. And I didn't have a 4, but we could have drawn one. And I just didn't think there was anything Reid was going to do that we were going to get into want to counter over. I mean, maybe Acuity. Maybe he resolves an Acuity and we feel silly, but look, it worked out. I don't think a punt has to lose you the game. I think it has to be an inarguably incorrect line of play. How about that? Like that you can just demonstrate, no, that was a strictly worse play than this other alternative. And then punts have, to me, a wide range on their severity, That's part of it, Rogue. Like, I just didn't... I don't want to use Thought Collapse on that. Kind of. We have 4. We happen to have all 4 in our hand. Or, we've drawn all 4, but we're at max collapse. I mean, when you think about the definitions of words, we're trying to communicate, and we're trying to communicate about magic. So when you define magic-specific terms, it should facilitate the communication as best as possible. And that's why I don't like arguments about, well, technically that's not strictly better, because it's like, no, we're trying to communicate about magic here. Stop arguing about the technicalities of strictly and hear the point I'm trying to make, We need land is the point I'm trying to make. But I don't want to play clear into the open mana. Yeah, don't be pedantic. Be a useful communicator. And if we take the useful communication perspective on punt, what we're trying to talk about is improving our game, identifying mistakes, learning where we could have done something better. And so I think a punt just has, to me, is a clear mistake, because that's the thing we're trying to discuss when we, you know. Yeah, people say, semantics, but, like, semantics is how we communicate. Semantics is, like, the most important thing. Boy, well, we sure wanted some land by now. Reid's kind of in the driver's seat, and we're forced to cast something. I'm going to give him Sage's Row Savant, and we got to go shields down. We could just, we could pass. Maybe I don't need to cast anything. And maybe we just actually discard. I think so. I think we need to leave Thought Collapse up at all times now. So another thing we could do is bind the Petitioners at the end of Reid's turn. That would be the one window where I might consider that. And I'm just going to let this Prying Eyes go. It's far off from being cast right now, and we hope to get it back eventually anyway. We'll get this Prying Eyes back when we have more than 4 land. If we draw a land, we can cast the Savant and still have Thought Collapse up, so that's what I'm hoping for, is just... or not. Or not. Tough to beat a Duke on 4 land in this matchup. And I say a Duke because Ian is similarly difficult to beat, and I've taken many shots at that in my time in R&D. Can we really sit here discarding, though? It just feels terrible, but I think I got to give Reid a turn and look for some... Look for some land. Do we even want the insight is now my question. Probably just want a steady stream of lands. I'm going to put the insight on the bottom. Just want to keep giving ourselves the highest chance of putting a land on our top of our library. That's true, right? I guess, like, so what does it even matter? Like, I'm trying to set up a scry and he just gets to mill it. But at least I didn't discard. That's a good point. We'll remember that next time. Because I feel like I can't just keep discarding cards, and that my mistake was feeling like this was going to help us find land. If I'd thought it through and remembered that Reid can petitioner away what we put on top, then I don't think I would have, because we don't get any great benefit from it. But I thought it was worth, at that, you know, finally getting a land and being able to actually play in this game a little bit. Because we're going to need... Clear the Mind with Thought Collapse backup to not lose to his milling technique here. Yeah, we can try and get into head games around milling, but I don't know. I think it's just better to figure that our scries are not going to be that useful. And then we, like, leaving something on top is whatever. And we got to let a locket happen. We're not spending our counters on that. as Reid well knows. Guild Mage is a little more interesting, but we can try and bind that at the end of his turn, and then if... and I don't mind if it gets Thought Collapsed as much. We can go Admonition after that, especially if we draw a land. Draw a land, and... there's an argument for clearing the mind while we can definitely protect it. Yeah, I think I like clear the mind when we can protect it and have Thought Collapse up for Reid's turn. Ideally, we would have seen Clear the Minds of Reid's hit his bin, but we didn't. But we have double Thought Collapse. If we can just draw any of our 3 other Clear the Minds, we can probably protect it at 9 mana if we need to not lose the game. $26, $11. Expecting a Clear the Mind from Reid right here while our shields are down. And 7 mana. We can resolve an Arbiter while shields are down. We can resolve a Precognition while shields are down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I should be drawing first if we go to game 3. And I'm just trying to figure out the line here. I think we go down, shields down on Thought Collapse, because really we're using our Thought Collapses to protect our next Clear the Mind anyway. I did play a land. I'm gonna play the Perception. Deputy seems great, and so does the Insight. Frankly, so does the land. We just keep it all. I'm going to keep it all. All looks good. There's a Thought Collapse. Really, we just want to clear the minds are the big thing to look for. Anytime either of us mills a Clear the Mind, it's like cha-ching. Alright, Deputy may be worth protecting here as well. We can't protect it 2 spells worth, but we'll give it a try here. We got 1 Thought Collapse we can use for it. No clear. and no clear. So we dodged 2 clears there, and hopefully those petitioners are done for. Hey, look, we got attacks. Here comes deal 3. Oh, slime bind, sure. Yeah, I don't think Reid does, and I think so much of Reid's removal is slime bind and sky tether based. I think the suggestion of bringing in high alert is a good one, not to improve our creature's pressure or anything, but simply to effectively naturalize all of Reid's, or most of Reid's, removal spells. Yeah, we did. I milled 2 admonitions from him at some point. We have an extra thought collapse. Let's make Reid fight for this. Shimmer. I was going to say we could admonition our Savant, but we know Reid has mass manipulation that we want to rescue our stolen creatures with. But Savant helps us find better stuff, and well, actually, we should just see if the Night Arbiter is enough to apply the right pressure here. We'll not worry about the Sage's Row. Also, we have battlements to draw where we can exile the Savant. And we get to do this and keep Thought Collapse up, so we're going to give that a shot. If Reid does something to remove the Arbiter, we're going to let it happen. That might be different. Do we collapse that? Because we could also admonition it. That's the other thing. We could just bounce it. Yeah, I'm going to bounce it and save the collapse for protecting Clear the Mind. Yeah, I should just not attack with Deputy in the future. $12 to $16 on card count. He can resolve a clear here, though. I've gone shields down, so again... Oh, that's a little surprising. Yeah, let's start with the Deputy again. We've got the battlement, but... Start here. Ooh, there's a Clear the Mind. He may think he has both now, but we do have a third. And there's an argument for the battlement because I'm literally saving this Thought Collapse to protect our Clear the Mind. I am not going to counter anything Reid is really doing. So I'm going to play the battlement now. I'm going shields down because I don't intend to collapse anything. Or is there something we might collapse, though? Maybe I'm being silly. We can even Insight. Yeah, never mind. I'm going to collapse, leave collapse and Insight. We have all these instants. Might as well just leave the instants up. That's a little troubling. Clear number 1. Clear number 2. That's going to put 4, and we have 13, so we have a 4 and 13 shot of losing our final out if we let this resolve. But I think we've got to let it resolve and take this chance. We might still be able to win through battlement from here. It is good to mill them too. Yeah, I think we gotta let it happen and cross our fingers. Okay, no clear the mind, no clear the mind, no clear the mind. Whew. And don't care about the life so much, so we're gonna try the insight here. Would really feel comfortable if I could get a clear the mind in my hand. Not quite, not quite. Six, 7, 5. Man. All right, I'm going to keep the collapse up now because we really do need to keep them from... We might just lose on milling here. Yeah, we could bounce something to draw 1. But then we can't protect the clear the mind if we draw it. So I'm going to do... Then, I mean, we could wait and untap and then protect it, I suppose. That's the angle there. That's, you know... I'm talking about doing it all this turn is what we can't do. I guess that's actually worth it since we can still counter. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Okay. Now, we don't even have to discard. We're just going to leave it all. Saying, oh, I was supposed to attack, though, of course. That was silly. That was just a misclick. And we're going to go for the Thought Collapse here and hope he doesn't have the Thought Collapse for our Clear the Mind, but he's got to protect this, so I'm hoping that we both get to clear here. Maybe he's saying, okay, you can stop mine because I'm going to stop yours and you're going to die. No. Let's start this time by actually remembering to attack. I think he's just expecting to get there. Can we put enough pressure? Let's see, if we put 5 down... Chillbringer and the Battlement. Like, if we go Chilly... We gotta go attack now. Because if we try the Clear the Mind, we're just gonna get it countered. Reid is playing to counter ours. And I should have done that before, and then I'd have the Deputy in. So he's missed 17, 16, he should be at 14. And that's the difference between a turn and not. So I could easily end up losing this game and then possibly the match based on just a couple of missed attack situations, you know? Yeah, maybe we just never attack with the Deputy. Well, here's hoping. Oh, come on, Reid. Don't slow roll that, man. All right. Why you gotta be like that, Reid? Snap that off. Now, Reid's just a careful player, so he was making sure that there was absolutely nothing else, and then probably talking about it to his viewers. Oh boy. Yeah, we want more clear the mines. Yeah, that's what I said. I know Reid's not a slow roller. He was just being thorough. Learn from Reid. Don't worry about whether your opponent thinks you're a slow roller. Just make 100% sure you've got the right line, right? We talked about high alert to answer his answers, and I kind of like that. I almost want to go less like let's be the aggro side of this matchup, and maybe even bring in a courier. Cut. Got 1 minute. What about prowling? I'm going to go... Well, that kind of is a non-bow with high alert, isn't it? Let's not do that. But I want... Depose, deploy. No, I don't want hexproof guy. He gets bigger and everything, but it's not really worth it. I got 27 seconds. All right, I'm going to cut one more clear again because we've kind of gone this high alert direction a little bit. Maybe not the best sideboarding, but I cut a clear because we have somewhat mixed purpose here, and so like I know I've switched a little more aggro. That's why, and that's why I'm going to play first as well, because I'm actually just going to try and get him dead. Is the thing. Start with a high alert. Hopefully he goes locket. I wanted to cut the locket out. Well, not the worst. I'm going to try a courier. Yep, we've seen an expose. But gotta make him have it, I guess. Alright, found some land, that's good. Well, yeah, that's like one of the removals he has that actually works, so we're going to collapse that. We may lose this to the 5 damage spell, but we got to try. Got to make our attacks. We'll clear it back anyway. Yeah, Deputy could clear binding. That's a good point. I'm gonna clear here because I want to find land, and Reid is tapped out, and we get our high alert back in the deck and everything. No land though. Maybe we can just protect the courier for 15 more attacks. Maybe this is an 18 lander. Well, with this hand, we may as well take the Vigilance. And could clear again and draw, but I'm going to go with the hold Thought Collapse up. We got 3 Thought Collapses. Sure. I don't even think we care about that per se. Kind of care about that, but we can detain it. So we'll just detain that. And we'll draw a land that's not a gate, and we'll still be able to have Thought Collapse up. How about that? No, but replaying this seems like it has good value for us. And we'll go ahead and give our dude Vigilance in case Reid finds the 2-mana white deal damage to tapped. It's not a bad sign for Reid to be clearing. It means he's looking for answers to the courier. Well, you got to turn 4 o'clock with that play. But we get to untap with Thought Courier. And if we can just find an untapped land... island, please, gods. Island? No island. That is one vicious clock in and of itself, though. And we're just going to throw this out and hope that Reid doesn't have Quench or something. I don't think Reid would be playing Quench in this deck, though. I did, but there was no way to attack for 4 and cast the Arbiter, and I thought if Reid can deal with the Courier with that spell, it doesn't mean he can deal with the 5/5 unblockable that we have in back. Yeah, Mass Manipulation would be bad, but we got to take our shots here, right? It's great that he's shimmering. He's past Mass Manipulation mana, so we're not under a threat of that anymore. Yeah, if Reid is digging, that's great for us, but he's back to 6, so he could now steal something. Now his removal is good again, but we have Deputy. All right, we did find another land, but it doesn't give us... 2 counters. We still get the 1, though. We're just going to attack with both. Since we don't have the capability of 2 counters, we should definitely clear the mind or Deputy here. And I'm down with clearing. I think we clear here. Try to get some land. We could shimmer, but we're not gonna. We have Thought Collapse to leave up. Going on the life gain. Sure, that makes some sense. So I guess we'll have to try and detain the guild mage on our next turn. See if Reid protects that or what he may try to do here. So looks like Reid is protecting mass manipulation with a thought collapse. We've got to make him have it, and then we can use deputy. Where's our admonitions? No admonitions in the yard, so maybe we can find one. Let's go looking for... Reid is all nice and tapped out at the very least. So let's start with a shimmer looking for what we need. Chili Bee doesn't do it, but... Precog really helps us dig for it. So I think we take Perception and try to find... Unless we think Chili Bee alone can get it done, we tap down the Arbiter. If we take Chili Bee, tap the Guild Mage, and then start racing in the air... Or we draw a bunch of cards and hope that does it. Precog is the longer play. Chili is the let's try to win this play. He has a blocker in the air. Yeah, that's true. The Senate Courier prevents that from working. So we'll go ahead and take the Perception. Yeah, I'd love to bouncing our guys back seems great. Yep. So we got to find that. There we go. Good, good, good. Found one of those. We'll keep the Acuity and take those two. We still want an island, and even that doesn't help. I need like 5 islands, because I want to protect Admonition with 2 Thought Collapses. But it looks like if he's tapping down, Admonition with 1 Thought Collapse will work. We're at 16 cards, so clear is kind of wheel spinning in a less relevant way. Okay, we got blue at least, so... No, 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 no. We're not going to use the Acuity because we want to be able to play like the Detention Deputy if we need to here, or follow up with... sorry, we're going to try and follow with the Knight Arbiter. And let's see if there's a response to this at least. Yeah, let us have it, but... I think I'm going to try the Detention Deputy on my own Courier. Then if it's outright killed, we get it back. And it blocks on the ground, so the damage stops. And we can come back next turn. If we draw another island, then we do have, like, protect Knight Arbiter with a couple of Thought Collapses. Yeah, certainly Reid didn't have a counter last turn, or he wouldn't have gone double clear the mind. There was too much digging last turn for that to be what was going on. Probably just power through 2 clear the minds next turn even. Make sure that's not how we're going to lose. We are going to face mass manipulation again, which is really disconcerting. But maybe we actually try the Night Arbiter here. 4, 9, 5. I'll go 10. 5. We need 11 before we can double protect it. I take it back. Let's try to get a Clear the Mind resolved here. All right, I like having an admonition. It's protection against his recasting of mass manipulation. With 6 mana now, we have Acuity plus leave Thought Collapse up. So we can at least do that, which I like. And we pass it. I gotta... Well, let's see. He may set up... He knows that we have a Thought Collapse for mass manipulation, so I'm not expecting Reid to, just cast into that again unless he can find his own Thought Collapse for the backup. And so what we might want to try to get going here, if we can work it out, is ideally we get an Arbiter attacking with double Thought Collapse for handling... a reattempted mass manipulation backed by his own Thought Collapse. Yeah, I can't... I mean... I can't worry about that. And yep, we let that happen. Reid has 8 mana and 3 cards. We've refound our High Alert, which is probably worth fighting for. We have 9. We could have 10 or 9, depending on which land we played. 3, 3, 3 means that we can High Alert with... both of those protected, but maybe we just want to try and get the Night Arbiter down and protect that. And if we do that, we play 5. We have 4 mana left over, so we don't have 2 counters no matter what. So we probably want to play the Gate. And I'm going to start on Arbiter, and we'll see if... this resolves. Alright, we're going to try it this way. So this is kind of, I hope the last window Reid has to resolve a manipulation only backed up by 1 Thought Collapse. Because if we can protect this board with 2 Thought Collapses, I think I like our spot, but this is a big, yeah, there you go. But we do have the admonition to get back the Arbiter. Yeah, we'll collapse it, and he'll collapse it, and then we'll Clear the Mind and admonition on our turn. Okay, so how are we doing this turn? If we bounce the deputy detention, we get back the courier and can replay it and take the arbiter and then try and bounce our dude again at some other point. That slows down our clock, but then we have the high alert to make the courier good again. So I like that line. Let's start with an attempt at admonition on deputy. And I definitely want... We need to clear the mind. Let's clear the mind. Is that what I want it to spend? I think we're going shield... We might go shields down here again, but I want to clear while we have a good window to do so. And now I can recast the deputy. I can leave high alert, or I can leave thought collapse up. If we want to have thought collapse up, I have to pass. But I like deputy. I'm going to go shields down and deputy our knight again. Insight is okay. Trouble is, Reid has so much mana, it's actually not okay. It's like it's trivial for him to then cast whatever is drawn. I think both of us are kind of in that spot. So you can still get choked on mana even at 13 or whatever. And we're actually not fighting over clear the minds at this point. We're fighting over mass manipulations that keep us from frickin' losing. Or from winning by taking our stuff. Okay, we definitely like islands, and we already have our gate out, so it's safe to play lands now. We only have one gate. That was the thing that was making it silly for me to play how I was doing it before. And we'll do high alert and protect it with thought collapse, but I want to do a 2 planes high alert. He may have daylight back in hand again, you know. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to spend 2 to make sure this courier doesn't die to the deal damage to tapped creature spell. Oh, no. No. Yeah, I think we have to collapse that. It sets up that we don't have a collapse for manipulation, but we're trying to... It's right in the... It's still in the... Oh, I guess it's not in the graveyard, so we could have it back at any time. That's intimidating. But yeah, this is just what we have to try and protect here. I'm going to go ahead and Acuity over Insight. Well, it doesn't really matter that much. I guess it just represents more cards in the long run, so I'll do it. Got a clear in hand now. Alright, we need to dodge manipulation for a couple more turns here. That doesn't look good. That's some manipulation mana right there. Oh, Prying Eyes mana. Great, great, great. But he has manipulation mana left. Oh my gosh, it's like likely that he has manipulation in his hand at this point. Clear? Seems like another clear. Admonition, sure. Maybe he'll try and counter it on the way down. Battlement, great. Love it, love it. What do we want to try and get countered? 7, 12, 13. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can do Battlement, Courier, Insight. So I guess I could start with the Insight. See if we find counter magic. Courier is just a great damage source, though, but I think he knows about it, so we may as well offer it, because if he wants the Courier, he's going to wait till he gets it. And I might want to represent Thought Collapse here, rather than get 2 life off the Insight, because the 2 life doesn't seem to matter much. All right, Reid. I'm going to pretend I have a counterspell. I hope you believe it. It's not going to matter. You can't play around things you can't beat, so it's not like he's going to not cast a game-saving spell because I might be able to counter it, but, you know. Oh, Reid, I'm feeling it, buddy. This is going in my Great Games collection for sure. Great Matches collection. The question is he feeling it? I just don't want him to tap 10 mana, because then we know Manipulate is coming. Sure. Can't do anything about that. Yeah, clearly he doesn't have Manipulate right now, but folks, he has 8 cards. He could draw it at any time. Like, we need to find counter magic. Okay, there's Thought Collapse. There's Thought Collapse. Love it. Now, if I draw a second Thought Collapse, 6, 1, 2... We have 7 mana to spend, aside from having the mana for 2 Thought Collapses. So we want to find... So we want to think about that in terms of how we spend. Chillbringing doesn't really do much, although it taps down this Guild Mage that is getting him annoying amounts of life. But let's start with an attack. Yeah, we didn't need to hold down full control anyway with when we had the Courier in play. Binding. Ah, boy. This is a sweat. Jeez. Yeah, I think Manipulation is what we have to protect against, isn't it? So now I'm going to Insight, but I'm going to do it with 3 white. And we'd love to find another Thought Collapse, basically. Or are they all in the yard? There's 2 in the yard, so we got 1 more to find. Oh, we could Admonition out from under the Binding and still have double Thought Collapse if we can find one. Binding of our own, which I like on Guild Mage, or we play something else for 3. 7. I also don't want to lose to him milling us out on the next turn. Yes, let's try a Clear the Mind. and see if we can get increase our chances at a thought collapse with this. Oh, I'm feeling it, Reid. I feel like I'm going to lose if I don't protect this clear the mind. Well, gang, we sure tried to beat the Hall of the Future. Is he a Hall of Famer? He's a Hall of Famer now, right? But we're just dead. Ha! Good games, Reid. I did what I could. Well, let's call him the future Hall of Famer, Reid Duke. Good games, buddy. I'll throw that up on the old archives as a great match. And could not find a way through. Whew! Would have been a nice notch on the old belt to have a Reid Duke notch, but it is not to be this time.